Okay, let's dive in. Well,
Perfect.
Lily, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me.
Mhm.
I know that you graduated from Lakeview last year. You were an incredible athlete and also
Mhm.
were involved with Strive at Lakeview. And I recently got to hear you and a bit of your story at our Empower conference at Midland when you were on one of our student panels, which was really incredible. So tell me a little bit about yourself. What are you majoring in? What projects are you working on? What companies have you worked with and or professional teams?
Mhm. Yeah. So I right now am still technically a digital marketing major, and then I have a graphic art minor. So that has been a blast. The business school at Midland is top notch. The professors really care about you here. For extracurriculars, I was in volleyball last year. I'm not anymore due to the injury. But I am still in a sorority here on campus. I was part of Tri-Phi. I am an FBLA collegiate, which
Yeah, you
is same
are.
thing as FBLA in high school, but that has been so much fun. I'm an officer for the Midland team, and then I'm also a state officer. So that has opened me up to hundreds of opportunities. It's
And
completely amazing.
you just won an
I
award.
did. I
Yeah,
did.
talk
Uh,
about that.
I competed at the National Fall Leadership Conference. That's what it's commonly known as in high school. In college, it's known as CCC, Career Connections Conference. That was in Des Moines, Iowa, I believe back in October. And I went and I competed with one other guy, Scott Tatum from Midland, and one other girl from Wayne State. Her name was Peyton Tracy. She is the state president for Nebraska. Um, and we three competed in a case competition, a case study competition, and it was about actually the decline of CPAs in Iowa. So that was really cool. I got to learn about accountants and kind of the CPA process. And we presented that to a panel of judges who were in the professional accounting world, and we placed first, and it was a really, really
Yeah,
cool
you did.
experience. Yeah. So definitely hard work went into that, and it was really fun to get first. Our advisor kind of tricked us because she kind of saw the like she was the person who took the judges reports and handed them to the like people because she's a state advisor, and she was like, oh, you guys, like, don't get your hopes up, like there was some really good competition in there. So we didn't think we placed it all, and then lo and behold we got first.
Oh, that's awesome. It's really, I thought it was really cool when I heard your story about how you still, not only are you into digital marketing and the business realm, but you continued a passion that you had in high school into college. So that's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
I mean, I really continuing the Strive, what I did for Strive in high school really like transferred over almost exactly into my work study that I did here at Midland
mm,
that I still do. I ran the Douglas School of Business's social media page for about the last year, and that has been so fun, and it gives me great work experience through the university. So those two, like what I was doing for Strive and what I was doing for the School of Business, it was like the next step up. So it was a really, really easy and cool transition.
oh. And then tell me kind of what project, like, what companies have you worked with over the summer, or what kind of like real world experiences have you, got to encounter?
For sure. So through Midland, I have done two really cool projects that I'd love to talk about. So the first
Yeah.
one I did last year, freshman year, I got to work with the Pittsburgh Penguins, the NHL team. I love hockey, so that was such a cool experiment experience. We got to work with, I believe, the creative director. That might be wrong, but her name was Andy Perelman. She was amazing, great source of contact for the company, and we did like a comprehensive marketing strategy for them and to increase, I believe, oh gosh, it was a year ago. It was just to
Oh,
increase like revenue, I believe.
yeah.
And I got to work with a great group of girls for that project in class, and that was like just such a cool opportunity right off the bat for semester of college. And then this year I'm taking like the next class, which is digital marketing, and I'm getting to work with the Trailblazers out of Portland, the NBA team. So, I
That's
mean,
incredible.
that is so cool. And this year, I think the project's going to turn out really well because we got a very more specific objective from the client.
Mm,
We're working on promoting the community side and their celebration night games, which
Mm,
it's less about the basketball, more about what they're doing for the community and nonprofits, which is a really
yeah,
cool spin on like your typical sports marketing project. So that is
absolutely.
awesome. And I also get to work with a group for that, and I have a great group for that as well.
Oh, that's incredible. Yeah, when you guys were talking about that Empower, I was like, "Holy moly!" Like, people dream of just having these opportunities, and that's
Yeah.
incredible that you're getting this right now while you're in
Mhm,
college and as like
mhm.
part of your college curriculum too. That's incredible.
Yeah, it is insane. I mean, Nick Schreck's a big, Professor Schreck, he's a big driver for that. I mean, he reaches out to these companies over and over again, and he makes the connections and like sets this up for us. And yeah, it is one of the coolest things I've done in college so far.
Well, given all that success that you've just mentioned, what role do you think Strive played in it? And how do you think Strive kind of prepared you for college and then also for a career after college?
Yeah, I think Strive played, for me personally, a huge role in figuring out what I wanted to go into in college.
Yeah.
And like I said, like the Strive to my work study of like running a social media account all on my own was such a big, like, if I hadn't done Strive, I would have been lost that first few months I did it. You know what I
Mm,
mean? So Strive is really, really cool because it gives you a community of students to learn and grow with in this sort of sports marketing profession, and it gives you the building blocks you really need, like communication, and like actually knowing the technical skills of how to run a camera, how to do audio, how to mix and match stuff like that, create graphics, whether on Canva or Adobe Photoshop. It just gives you all of the basics you need to then apply it and really stand out in your classes in college. um
yeah.
I think especially being able to take pictures and videos and make graphics for the state events. I think through Strive Education was one of the coolest things I got to do in high school. I love photography kind of personally on my own. And
Yeah,
that was such a cool experience to delve into that and get some really good pieces for my portfolio to then use to apply for jobs going into college. So yes, Strive is a great
absolutely.
resource.
Oh, um, what giving I know you just said a portfolio. What are some skills or knowledge that students need to have in their portfolio before they graduate high school? What
For
advice would
sure.
you give?
For sure. I think number one would be like Clifton Strengths. I know that sounds like kind of repetitive,
Yeah?
and I know a lot of high schools do that, a lot of colleges do that too. But just taking that free assessment and then knowing
Yeah.
yourself, like, these are my strengths and this is what I can bring to the table. And then you can just, even if you don't put them on your resume or your portfolio, you know about them to talk about it in
Yeah.
interviews, in essays, applying for scholarships, anything like that. I think that's a huge thing. Uh, Knowledge and skills for digital marketing, or like marketing specifically, skills I think would be like thinking outside of the box and being like
Mm,
really innovative and being able to evolve as well.
yeah.
I mean, I could tell you some programs that are good right now to use for like creative stuff, but 10 years from now, 5 years, 2 years from now, they might
Yeah.
not even be
Next
relevant
month.
anymore. Yeah, next month. So being able to be adaptable and like learn on the fly and be able to take criticism and learn new programs, just all of that kind of thing, I think would be the number one skill.
Yeah. If you were to go back to high school, what is one kind of technical skill, whether it be knowledge of a certain software or being able to edit a video in a certain way? What is one skill that you have learned in college that you wish you had back in high school?
Definitely. For what I'm doing right now, I think the number one skill that I would have tried to learn more about in high school would be like Adobe Premiere Pro. I
Yeah,
know for video editing, I'm more into video editing now than I was in high school, and I wish I would have learned all of the basics, honestly, of all the Adobe platforms. I feel like
yeah,
Adobe is always, again, very innovative, and they keep pushing what's new, so I think they'll stay relevant for a little while,
yeah.
maybe.
They're also the
Um,
industry standard too. Yeah,
yes, yes. So I really dove into Photoshop in high school, but I wish I would have specifically Premiere Pro, but also like InDesign, Illustrator, Lightroom, learned all of those, at least basics across the board, so that I like have that knowledge and expertise and didn't have to learn it when I was doing a project last semester.
Yeah, kind of learning on the go and
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. Um, what advice would you give to high school students who are looking to kind of pursue a career, whether it be in business or marketing, accounting, digital media, digital marketing?
Yeah. Um, I would say, and this is going to be really standard advice, but it's true and it works for a reason. I would say get involved in at least one thing on campus, whether that's FBLA or sorority or athletics or theater, whatever, at least one thing your first semester as a freshman, and
Yeah.
then see where that takes you. And if you have room in your schedule for more, but also just network and talk to people, make friends. I mean, my peers here at Midland are some of the coolest people I know. I actually have a podcast where I interview different people each week and talk about them and their highlights and their success stories. And there are just such amazing students here who have such passions outside of even just school or extracurriculars that I
Yeah.
love to share. Um, but yeah, like finding again like your strength and just finding something. Oh gosh,
You're
sorry.
fine.
um
You're fine.
yeah. I kind of
No,
lost my
that's
train of thought, but yeah, I
no,
think you understand what I'm saying.
absolutely. No, well, tell us about your podcast. I didn't know you were doing that. Tell us more
Oh
about it.
yeah.
How did it start?
um
Yeah, where can we watch and listen?
well, it's on YouTube and Spotify. Little plug,
Okay.
it's called Lily's Lunch Bunch, the podcast, and it's
Okay.
something I've been just like, it was a little thing I did in high school where I recorded on my phone at lunch and just like
Oh,
asked random questions to my friends. I haven't posted any of those episodes. But
you
that was
have to
like how
wait
it
until
that
it's like really
yeah.
embarrassing as you get older. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm
That's
teasing.
like
I'm teasing.
no, that was like where the idea came from, and where the title came from. But
Yeah.
Midland recently created or bought supplies and created a creator content studio. So we basically have a podcast kind of YouTube room that you can uh schedule out. So that really inspired me to actually like take the step and just start publishing my podcast. So the idea behind it as well is, the original idea was to give people something to listen to, laugh along with, feel like they have friends at lunch. So if you have a
Mhm.
lunch break and you work remote like these days, you have someone to listen to and laugh with, and you have a sense of community that you can always check into each week. And now it has been more of like sharing these people at Midland stories, and like I just and right now I started off with my friends because we're still in the beginning stages of posting. I think I only have 2 episodes out, but
It's okay.
like all of my friends have such cool things that they are doing, and just like they are successful and like going out in the world and like taking it like and oh my goodness, it's just, I think they're so cool, and I think everyone has a good story to tell and is doing something that should be celebrated.
Oh, yeah, and that just goes to show, like, a lot of content creation always comes back to storytelling, and that you just have a knack for that because you can see the humanity in others.
Yeah.
How important was it for you to have mentors like Tyler Colvin at Lakeview and Nick Schreck at Midland, as you were kind of, figuring out who you are and also just kind of gaining the success along the way?
Yeah. I think it was great. And both of those mentors are very different. And I think that's amazing. Mr. Colvin, I was one of the first, I think we had 6 Strive students. I was the first in the first Strive class at Midland. So obviously he's learning right along with us. And that was really, really cool because he would learn something and be able to share it and be able to teach it with us. And I think he did a phenomenal job of that, especially starting out the program. And he has
Yeah.
such a like, let's do it attitude. Like, he's a coach for basketball, and he's just really good at like motivating people to get stuff done and learn new things. So I think that kind of mentor, especially starting out, was really, really good for me. And then Nick Schreck, obviously, he just cares so much about the individual student and wants to see every one of his students succeed at Midland. And that is just something that's invaluable in like as a professor, especially here at Midland, because we have such like we have a smaller size school. You're really able to get that like personal feel. And I mean, I've have about a monthly meeting with him and just talk about what I'm
That's
doing for my work
incredible.
study. Yeah, it really, really is. But I get to talk about what I'm doing for my work study, but also like what's going on in like my personal life and like in my personal development, I should say. That's a better word for that.
Yeah.
In like what I want career wise and next steps. And he's always
Yeah.
has like businesses in class for students to like learn from, but also like maybe get a job experience from. I think
Yeah.
we've had 3 or 4 different businesses come in just in my digital marketing class alone. And they've talked to us, and each one has offered internship positions that we could apply for, which is a really neat thing to have
Yeah.
out of college.
Yes. Um, kind of like I mean, kind of forming a special relationship like that with a college professor is really, really
Mhm.
unique. What advice would you give to high school seniors who want to find a mentor like Dr.
Yeah.
Shrek at Midland? Like how did that relationship go about and what advice would you give?
Yeah. It definitely I was very lucky. It definitely developed pretty naturally for me.
Yeah.
I think with the mindset of like seeking out a mentor maybe isn't like the way to go, but just finding a professor who like you relate to and seems to have like good intentions and seems to care about their students. Like, and even if it's not a professor, even if it's an upperclassman or an advisor, I
Yeah.
know Rita Bristol is another professor here at Midland, and she's the FBLA advisor. And she also has that like cares about her students and wants the best for you kind of mentality. And I think those 2 professors are really my mentors here. And
Mm,
I think it's less about like asking them to be your mentor and more about just asking if you can meet with them. And even if it's not
mm,
like once a month, once a semester or twice a semester, like, hey, can I meet with you and talk to you about XYZ, how to build my portfolio, how to create a personal
yeah.
website for digital design, anything like that. And at least at Midland, 90% of the time, they're going to say yes and they'll be able to help you. And then it can kind of just form naturally. So,
Oh,
yeah,
well, that's perfect. That is fantastic advice. Um, why do you think high school seniors, especially Strive students, should be considering Midland University for their college choice?
definitely. I have loved Midland so far. Like I've said, I've been praising the Dunkley School of Business, but I also know we have a really good nursing program here and
Yeah,
an education program. So I know there are great opportunities academic wise. I mean, we just have solid teachers here, but also you get that small town kind of feel. Like I walk to class and I say hi to 2 or 3 people on my way. And it is really, really cool to have that kind of small community. And additionally, we're known for our sports and arts program. So we have 33 plus sports here at Midland that have scholarships, and we have our arts and music and dance and all of that sort of program. So whatever you're into in high school, there's going to be a scholarship more likely than not at Midland for you. And then through that, you also get a community of people who also have your same interests, and you can grow and learn in that sort of sense as well. So that's what I think sets Midland apart.
okay. Um, in what ways have the opportunities that Strive and Midland afforded you? How have those kind of transformed your life, both personally and professionally?
Definitely. I think personally, it really helped me decide where I wanted to go and what my passions are. I know sophomore year when I joined the Strive class, I was stressed because I had no idea what I wanted to do college, and I thought I had to make a decision right then and there. And I was just like, what do I want to do, and how can you monetize that, right? As a professional career. And Strive really helped me learn that this is what I love and I want to do this. And I really
Yeah.
could see myself having a career in that. And then Midland helped me learn that, well, maybe that's not what I want for a career, but this is definitely something I can still do in my free time and love and grow in. And And I have found such a community in both Strive and at Midland. I have some of my best friends from Midland, and I made some really great connections professionally through Strive that I can kind of talk to and learn from. And I mean, I like and follow all of their Instagram posts. I think those are so cool. I just love seeing what other creators are putting out, especially
Yeah,
when they're close to my age, and just
yeah.
seeing kind of like, not to sound bad, but kind of see like, what's my competition? You know what I mean? Like, what are they doing? Do I need to
Yeah,
raise my bar? And it kind of keeps me accountable and keeps me wanting to improve my own skills.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, I know we kind of talked before about what life after college might look like, so that's kind of hard to sometimes. I know it's 2 to 3 years away.
Mm.
Where do you see the next 3 years of college taking you?
So at the end of this semester, I will be moving to Phoenix, Arizona. I will be switching schools. I will be transferring to GCU, and I will also be switching my major to accounting. So that is not something I saw for myself 6 months ago, right?
Yeah,
But I think that's the beauty of college, is that it can change and you can grow. And honestly, the next 3 years, I don't know, but I think I'll probably stay down south for a while, enjoy the warm weather in my young years, um, and pursue a career in accounting. I definitely
yeah.
think I want to go the private side, but who knows?
Oh,
I don't know. It's really up in the air for me, which if it would have been a year ago with the kind of person I was, I would have been so stressed. But now I just think that's exciting.
yeah. Oh, well, thank you, Lily. Like this was an incredible interview, and I love hearing your story, and just I love uh, seeing any Strive student success is just really, really heartwarming to all of us here at Strive. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you
And then
for choosing me to talk to, and thanks for taking the time to talk to me.
absolutely. And if any student or any teacher wants to connect with you, what are some good ways for them to reach out?
To me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you can email me at elillyrowe@gmail.com. I love hearing from people on there. I'm on social media. I probably respond the quickest on Instagram, and I believe that's just elillyrowe. It might be lillyrowe04, but I'm not sure. Let me double check.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, Lily Rowe on
Okay.
Instagram. DM me. I love to see what people are doing. I love to answer questions. Um, I just think connecting with people is such a cool experience, and it's what we're on the earth to do overall. But
Yeah.
also go to YouTube, Lily's Lunch Bunch the
There it
podcast,
is.
and Spotify. Go listen to that. Give it a like. Follow if you like it. If you don't, that's okay.
Oh, well, thank you. And again, we wish you the best. And please stay in touch as you travel down
Yes.
south and head to warmer weather than here in chilly
Yeah.
Nebraska.